Welcome to Roll for Lore, the podcast for you if you think way too much about Dungeons & Dragons. My name's Sean.
My name's Jessica.
Hit the theme!
Hit the theme!
Theme song over!
Okay. We're talking about Selune today.
Who is Selune? We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. We've talked about her a little bit. I got some more interesting tidbits about her, but Sean, I've had a rough week.
I've had a rough week too, but it pales in comparison to your week. You've had a rough month.
I very much love the McElroy brothers, as we've talked about in the past. I am trying so hard to emulate one of them, not only in profession, but I guess in medical ailments, because I have been diagnosed with IBD.
IBD, like our boy Griffin.
Yeah, like
the
Griffin.
Sweet baby brother.
Yeah, so I've had months and months of question marks, why my tummy hurts all the time, and finally after a rough couple nights in the hospital, got that Crohn's disease. Crohn's awareness, baby. Woohoo.
Yay!
Whatever that means.
Crohn's is also one of those diseases you can quietly keep under the table because it's pretty personable.
Yeah, I know, but I guess I feel
you gotta raise awareness.
I feel a little empowered because I have to Google a lot right now because getting into the doctor is absolutely impossible. But while I'm waiting for my appointment, I've been looking stuff up, and people are really on that train of like, let's talk more about Crohn's. Let's let people who have tummy issues.
You got to normalize not being normal in general. I mean, let people know it's okay not to be perfect.
Yep.
We're not all perfect.
Not perfect, but hey, the worst of it right now is everything sounds disgusting. I can't eat food.
You're suffering and you need support.
I just need support. But I wanted to get that out of the way. We've talked about it. I'm good. I'm healthy. I'm happy. Mm-hmm. Every day is a little better.
You know what'll make Jessica feel better, though?
Uh-oh.
Or really raise her spirits?
Jeez.
iTunes reviews.
Oh, actually, yeah. I'm a poor sick girl with a chronic ailment. Please leave me a review.
iTunes reviews make everybody feel good.
Yeah, it's the natural
So
cure.
far, we have 4. One is me, one is you, one is my mom, and one is somebody we don't know, but we're pretty sure is Carly.
It might be Carly. Or it could be like a couple of my other friends, maybe?
Yeah? Anyway, shout out to Carly.
Shout out to Carly again. You know how I know she's probably not listening? Because she has not once mentioned the fact that we keep shouting her out almost every episode. I think she would have said something by now. Well, yeah. Why was your week rough? Like, are you doing okay?
Well, I was working till like midnight every night trying to get this AI project I've been working on ready to present at the meeting that got canceled.
So
I've been just busting butt. Literally, I was here.
Oh, no.
I was here till like 1:00 the past 2 nights.
Yeah.
Well, not last night. It was Halloween. I had to take my babies trick or treating, but the 2 nights before that, and I was just like I was ready in like the nick of time. Then the meeting got canceled, so I didn't even get to present it.
Yeah, but you presented it to me and some coworkers and our CEOs, and like super excited about it. So you'll get your chance next week.
Yeah, but it wasn't a rough week. If I wasn't up here working on that, I'd been working on something else because being home by yourself is boring.
It is very boring.
I got to play D&D last Sunday. Or no, I got to play D&D on Monday.
Yes.
I played D&D with you.
Yes.
So it was actually kind of a good week.
You're right. And that was the best session. Oh my gosh, he showed up. I think it was on our Instagram, but you brought minis and like a full dragon. It was my first dragon battle in D&D. It was a monumental occasion.
A black dragon.
It was a black dragon. Quick work of it because, we're the best guys in the land, I guess.
Yes, Bruce, our warlock, played by Jessica's beautiful, like stunningly beautiful boyfriend.
Sean. I'm dating him.
I know. I'm not, but he's still beautiful.
Yeah, that's
anyway,
true. Anyways.
He did all the damage. Like the dragon had like
Yeah.
180 hit points and he did like 173 of the damage.
I was healing and
But I gotta surprise him. I felt really good because he, like, everybody knew there was something coming. Like there was some kind of encounter coming.
Mhm.
And they're in a swamp and black dragons are aquatic, and then he just starts firing off his Eldritch Blast, and then the dragon emerges from the swamp.
It was so good.
And he's like, yeah, dragons don't swim. And I was like, this one does literally swim. It has water breathing.
He's trying to use logic. He's
This
like,
is a
well,
swamp
actually, swamp dragons.
Oh, but yeah, they killed it. It was pretty epic.
It was really fun. Well, but okay, so the dragon was awesome, but you gave us a wagon race battle, which was really badass and fun, and I did damage on that battle.
You did a lot of damage. Yeah, the wagon
beat
race.
a force.
Beat a force. I forgot about the beads of force. That was pretty OP when you're on wagons.
Yeah. You saved her though. She clung for dear life, but we still managed.
But I wanted it to be a real cinematic session, and I love the Fast and Furious franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, we got to go over the top car race scene.
What's your favorite Fast movie?
Fast 5.
Okay.
What's your favorite Fast movie?
I've never seen one.
There's only 10.
Oh, there's only 10. Where do I start?
1.
Is it the Christmas movie? Is that the Christmas movie? Or no, that's Die Hard.
If you think Fast and Furious and Die Hard?
They both have cars, right? And explosions.
Oh, they have explosions.
Okay, so this is like one area I'm like super not knowledgeable on, and that's action films. So I'm so sorry.
I think Die Hard takes place entirely like in and around a tower, like a office tower.
Oh.
I've never seen Die Hard.
Okay.
I know I should. My mom likes Die Hard.
It's a movie, right? Or is it a show?
It's a movie.
Okay.
It's
What
Bruce
podcast
Willis.
is this?
This is a D&D podcast. Anyway, Fast and Furious, the first movie's great. One of these days, I'm going to run a modern game. For those of you who know what modern is, there used to be like a D20 system, like D&D 3.5. There is a modern version of it called Modern. And one of these days, somebody's going to let me run a modern game that is just Fast and Furious, and it's going to be awesome.
That'd be sick. And
Okay.
I don't know anything about Fast and Furious, so one day maybe I'll let you do that.
You gotta watch. The first Fast and Furious movie is legit good. Then there's like 3 that suck. And then...
As it goes.
And then, 4 is like okay, and then 5 is great, and everything since 5 is good.
Okay. I'll add it to my list, my ever-growing list of movies.
It's got The Rock.
Films. I do love The Rock.
It's got John Cena.
I have zero opinions of John Cena, but
It's
everybody
got
seems to love
Aquaman.
him. Aquaman?
Yeah, he's
Jason Momoa?
Jason Momoa's in the last
Oh,
one.
well then I'm on it. I'll watch that.
You gotta
I have
watch-
a signed autograph photo from him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, I didn't meet him, but I won it at a Game of Thrones auction.
Really?
Yeah.
Auction?
Yeah, so it was a bar crawl, for a Game of Thrones bar crawl, and at every spot they did a little auction for whoever showed up, and it was like memorabilia or merch from the shows, and the final prize was this Jason Momoa and signed autograph.
By auction, do you mean raffle?
No, people were auctioning for it.
Like you had to pay for it?
Yeah, you like bid, like I'll pay $10. Like all the money went to charity or something. I don't know. I was drinking. I was drunk. I have no idea what was going on.
I went to a season 2 premiere of Game of Thrones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at a movie theater. It wasn't like the official premiere.
But still,
it was
that's
just
fun.
They showed us the first 2 episodes early at a movie theater, and this is when I was still dating my ex-wife, and she won an Xbox 360 that had been themed like Game of Thrones.
Oh, sick!
And it was awesome. And we just kept it in the box. We already had an Xbox, and it was like I didn't think it was worth anything. Like, but then I was like, I Googled it one day, and I found the same company that had made this Xbox had also done some Arkham Asylum ones that were selling for like $800 on eBay. So I put that Game of Thrones one up on eBay. And it sold for like $1,500.
Gosh.
And then I used that money to help buy her wedding ring, and that's how we got married.
Aw, well, I love that. I mean, that's a good story.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That is really awesome.
So then she would always bring up about how she won her own wedding ring.
Hey, you could have easily used that money to buy a massage chair or something. You made the right choice. A wedding ring. Well.
Did I make the right choice?
Shoot.
Did I?
Yes, because you have 2 beautiful children.
I do have 2 beautiful children. Thank you. Anyway, this is getting weird. All right, let's talk about gods.
Now that we've talked about our medical history and our relationship history, we're getting real personal here. Let's talk about Selûne. Selûne is also known as the Lady of Silver. She's known as the Moon Maiden, the Night White Lady, she who guides, Selûne Moon Mother, and some say that she is... nope, I have nothing else there. That's just a sentence that was cut off. But anyway, so y'all, I'm on not a lot of sleep right now. So if I say crazy things, it's just part of my personality traits. So Selûne is the ancient Greek name for both the moon and the goddess of the moon. So she has a little bit of, I guess, history in her conception from the Greek mythology and Greek mythos. She has multiple aspects, kind of like Shar does. She appears as this beautiful woman called Sahin Moonbow, as a girl named Elea and Lucha. These are all in different areas, or I guess pantheons of the Faerûnian mythos. But jumping to her portfolio. So as Shar was the goddess of night, despair, caverns, darkness, Selûne is the antithesis of Shar. Selûne is the goddess of the moon, stars, navigation, and navigators, questers, seekers, and non-evil lycanthropes, so werewolves.
Well, the non-evil ones.
Non-evil ones, yes.
Werewolves are evil.
Oh, okay. But lycanthropes are a little different than werewolves?
Well, yeah, you can be aware of other stuff, like werebears.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, where there's different animals have different alignments. And when you get lycanthropy, you're forced to have that alignment. So werebears are lawful good.
Okay, cool. So it's not just werewolves. It's just any moon-changing sort of animal creature.
Yeah, you can be aware of any kind of mammal, I think.
Okay, cool.
Were-rats are very popular.
Were-rats? Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Okay, I want a whole episode on were-beings, but I guess we'll talk a little bit more about the wolvine, or what is it? There's a special word for wolf, but she has a lot of followers under the wolf, I guess, subset of lycanthropes. Or lycanthropes?
Oh, maybe they have good ones in Faerûn. I don't know.
You don't know?
We'll see.
We'll see. So in the time of ancient Nethril, she was the greater goddess and held portfolios, in addition to the ones I mentioned before, of beauty, purity, love and marriage, navigation and navigators, and diviners and dreams, good and neutral lycanthropes, and the season autumn. So I think I've mentioned this in the previous episodes, and apologize for this rough start, but she started off kind of as a lesser deity. She didn't have a very large portfolio, even though she's one of the first goddesses that Ao created, and then they in turn created the cosmos. She lost a lot of her power in the initial battles with Shar, which we talked a little bit about last time. But as she continued to regain that power and rebuild and gain more followers, because that's, the gods' whole purpose is to gain followers and build their portfolios, she became a greater goddess near the end of 4th and 5th edition. She's usually described as a beautiful woman whose mood and appearance changes with the turn of the phases of the moon. So as she gets, the moon starts to wax and wane, she becomes older, she becomes younger, depending on what part of the life cycle it is. She's usually depicted as a dusky-skinned human woman with long limbs and perfect, exquisite booty. Damn.
She's got a perfect booty.
She's got the perfect ass. And also exquisite beauty.
Well, it makes sense she would have a nice moon.
Yeah.
What just fell?
That was my phone. The perfect mic drop moment. So the setup that we have, I'm on the side of a table with a bunch of cords. They're falling around me. It's sound effects that help tell this story. But she also can appear as an ethereal young girl with dark eyes and dark hair, wearing, it says, it's a fancy word for really long flowing robes. So she's really fond of this robed look.
Like Dionysus?
I guess it's diaphanous. Diaphanous? That sounds kind of right.
Like the Greek goddess Dionysus?
No.
I don't know.
This is a fancy word. Yeah, it's a good word. The third she appears as is a matronly middle-aged woman, plump yet fair and aging gracefully with gray-streaked dark hair.
If you identify with that description, hit me up on Instagram.
Perfect. Well, that's actually, and we'll talk a little bit about her, but that's my favorite depiction of her because when she's in this form, she's sometimes appears as this avatar innkeeper called Luna, who will sit at like inns and tell stories and like guide passers and travelers to their next destination, which I really like that part of her. So we'll talk a little more about that later. But as for in general, in her appearance and personality, Selûne is usually depicted as a caring and kind and forgiving god. She's ageless, but also ancient, and she has quiet mysticalness around her with a gentleness of like a mother figure. So absolutely the opposite of Shar in every aspect, which is appropriate. Her abilities. So this one I got a little more deep into like what Selûne can like cast or what she influences with casters, because I want to kind of start tying this into all your awesome depictions of like the different classes within this realms. So spell casting for Selûne, she can cast a wide variety of magic spells except for plant-based or dark magic, which I think is kind of interesting. I'm not really sure why not plant-based, but
well, yeah, is it because plants grow in the sun?
Maybe, I don't know. But she also, if you remember from the last episode, she helped create the sun by grabbing it out of the eternal fire. So
that's true.
It's interesting. So she can't do plant-based magic. She avoids using harmful healing spells or necromancy. She freely used divination magic, and she radiates protection from evil within a 100-yard radius. So if Selûne is within your campaign and she appears, she'll have that radius of protection. She's immune to damage from electricity and light-based spells, so don't try to zap her. And she's unaffected by illusions, enchantments, charms, and immune to attacks from all lycanthropes. So signs of presence and aid. So like if you're out walking in the wilderness and you are seeing a sign from Selûne, certain creatures like owls or were-dragons or planetar servants.
Wait, did you say were-dragon?
Yeah.
What's a were-dragon?
What's a were-dragon, huh? Well, I'm glad you asked because it's here in my notes, but not Googled. It's a group of lycanthropes that were able to transform at night from humans or sometimes other races into humanoid forms.
Into dragon forms?
Yeah, there's pictures of dragons here. Or into a full-grown dragon.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know I knew dragons could turn to humans. I didn't know humans could You learn something new every day, man. Yeah. I love this game.
We're dragons. And then she has these planetar servants called shards, which I'll talk a little bit about later, which are kind of these little spirits that help do her doing during certain days. Some other divine abilities that she has is she has awareness of any deed performed under moonlight. So just like Shar, anything that's done in the dark, Shar could see it. She can see anything done in moonlight.
Oh, and Shar made you hide the moonlight.
Yes, exactly. And then Selûne can instantly create magical items for healing, aiding shape changers, or channeling moon domain spells. So anything around the moon, she can instantly summon, create, and bend to her will.
Hell yeah.
And then finally, her divine realm. So with all the changing of the cosmos and the way that the pantheons are set up, she's had a couple homes. However, unlike Shar, who's kind of moved around a lot, her main domain has always been the Gates of the Moon. Starting in first and second edition, the heroic domains of Yasgard in the Great Wheel plane cosmology had this area called the Gates of the Moon, which is like a serene, silvery landscape bathed in perpetual moonlight with sparkling rivers and forests and quiet, reflective lakes and what have you. So it's like this really nice place within Yasgard or Asgard, however you say that. Just to like kind of remind y'all about planes. So the Gates of the Moon is considered a celestial plane, which a celestial plane is an astral domain. Astral planes were distinct planes that were connected by the astral sea. And just like the main thing to remember always about astral planes is usually it's inhabited by one or more gods. So it's kind of the home of the gods. So she was at the Gates of the Moon. The Gates of the Moon themselves moved in 3rd edition to the House of the Triad of Yasgard when we had that cosmology, so like that big tree cosmology. And then in 4th and 5th edition, it moved back to the Astral Sea. So she's kind of jumping around. 5th edition right now, as it stands, we're aware that she is still at her realm's still the Gates of the Moon, but it's located in Elysium, which is a pure and tranquil plane of peace and goodness. So that's actually Greek mythology. Elysium comes from Greek mythology, so I think it's interesting that she kind of pops between the Greek and Norse pantheons, essentially, as far as it relating to like normal day mythology. So just a little fun fact about her.
It's almost like this game was designed by huge nerds.
Oh, what? Weird. Weird. So yeah, that's her. That's her at the most basic, like, that's her LinkedIn profile. That's her portfolio. She sounds pretty cool. She sounds all right. But I think my main issue with Selûne throughout this research, and why I think Shar is just so much more interesting, is Selûne is like the typical protagonist who's bleeding heart, cares for everybody, sacrifices herself and her needs for blah, blah, blah. It's just like too wholehearted, just too straight edge, I guess, is what you can say. So, however, she does have some like moments of weakness and like exploration that I think are really interesting. And one of those is it's kind of highlighted through her growing influence and power. I promise this is the last time I'll mention it, but I think it's really fascinating that these gods kind of emulate their, I guess, real life counterpart. No, let me start over. They emulate the how popular they become in the D&D universe.
Yeah.
So as they're like becoming more popular and well known, then they become lesser or greater gods or major deities. So Selûne started off as a lesser god. No one really liked her, probably because she was kind of boring, typical protagonist. But in 2nd edition, she started to gain more influencers, and she elevated in status and turned into an intermediate deity. In 3rd edition, she was officially classified as a greater deity by this time, and was known for being the big overarching protector of light, guidance, and cosmic balance. And then 4th and 5th edition, she is considered one of the greater deities, like the biggest deities around. So she kind of had to fight her way up, whereas Shar has always been kind of cool and up there.
Yeah. Well, you need big bad guys for your campaign.
Yes.
And you only need cool gods if you have a cleric or paladin. And
that's true. Because you want your hero to be the hero, not the god.
Yeah.
Yeah, super boring if that was the case. Just a little recap. During the War in Light and Darkness, this is after Shar and Selûne had created the universe. Shantia came to him and begged for light. She wanted to be able to perpetuate and create life across the planets. Shar had a big problem with that, and Selûne didn't care. She reached into the plane of fire and brought forth a fragment of a living flame, which she used to ignite the sun. The reason I mention this again is because of this act, she becomes really, really injured, and it's part of the reason she was a lesser deity at this time. She's not able to continue her fight with Shar, so she's kind of goes into hiding, if that's the right word for it. She goes under the protection of this goddess called Selûne, Sune, who was the greater goddess of beauty and passion in the Faerûnian pantheon. So she kind of hid under her wing for a while as she recovered her strength and gained more followers. In some versions of this lore, Selûne's temporary service to Selûne was explained by a period of harmony following the Dawn Cataclysm. So that's right after, if you remember, Shar and Selûne like band together one last time to like put aside or to get the primordials out or something like that.
Yeah.
So usually it's depicted that after that battle, she goes into hiding with Selûne.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So kind of like it's when I was reading through the books and through some like Reddit threads, people are pretty much of the consensus that she's not over Selûne, like she's not a higher deity in power or strength over Selûne, but she's like this motherly figure that she looks up to in some ways. So I thought that was interesting. So the Netheril. Is that how you say it, do you think? You don't know?
I don't know.
All right, y'all. It's called the Netheril. So Selûne was always considered a major deity to one of the greatest civilizations in D&D fandom, which is the Netherese Empire. The Netheril were an ancient magrocratic human empire of Faerûn. So I had to look up what magrocratic means, and it's ruled by mages, which is really interesting.
Oh, are these the people that had the upside down mountains?
Yes, like the floating cities.
Okay, I have heard of these people.
Yeah. So their influence was felt across the realms of Faerûn for thousands of years because they brought upon so many wondrous inventions and discoveries as far as magic is concerned. They're famous for creating these floating cities that were sustained by powerful spells. So I guess those are floating like little upside down.
Yeah, they took mountains off the ground, flipped them upside down, and floated them up in the air.
Sick.
And if you were a mage and you went to mage college, and you were trying really hard to ascend to be in their government and be one of the head mages.
Yeah.
You had to be powerful enough to raise your own mountain up
Cool.
and make your own city.
Okay, I didn't read that part. That's badass. That's awesome. Yeah, so they had these awesome mountain homes where they achieved feats of magic rarely replicated in later ages. So it's they were extremely advanced as far as magic is concerned. Their civilization ultimately fell due to their hubris and reckless use of magic, as it always happens.
Oh, who could have seen that come in?
But Selûne played a role in, the pantheon of this major city and this civilization. It's noted that the age of humanity was the period from 300 DR to 1358 DR, and so that's when it sounds like the elves and dwarves started to kind of lessen in their power and influence, and that's when the humans started to raise and go up in prosperity.
What year was this?
It was 3000 DR to 1358 DR.
I don't know. I don't know Faerûn. I'm not going to pretend like I know Faerûnian lore. We're learning together.
We are learning together. So why I bring this up is as her power ebbs and flows, she kind of took solace among her peers in the Faerûnian pantheon under this magrochromatic human empire called the Netheril Empire. Karsus's folly was an event that happened that triggered the death of Mistral, which we've talked about in the past. Mistral is the god, the first depiction of the goddess of magic, which was later reborn as Mistra. So in Karsus's folly, Karsus, a powerful archwizard of the Netheril, sought to save his people from a crisis by attempting to kind of create this extremely dangerous spell. The spell was called Karsus's Avatar, and this spell was kind of designed to make him a god. So this is an instance of, how we talked about Ao was pissed off that all these humans were trying to become gods or being promoted gods. Well, this guy was trying to make himself a god. It makes him a god by he would forcibly take over the portfolio and powers of Mistral specifically. So not only was he trying to become a god, but he was trying to become the god of magic. And when Karsus cast this spell, he temporarily succeeded and gained all the divine powers of Mistral, except in that transition, it killed Mistral.
What?
Yeah, and Mistral was the daughter of Selûne. Selûne and Shar birthed this daughter through shards that were thrown at each other in a battle. So as I was reading the relationship between Selûne and Mistral, it was kind of like a love-hate relationship. Mistral was really free-spirited and this fairy wild goddess, and then Selûne was trying to keep her under control and stuff. Well, she was really heartbroken when she got killed.
Her poor shard baby.
Yeah, her shard baby did.
Her shard baby that she husbanded with her sister.
Yeah, God, shenanigans.
Those sister shard babies are so precious. You gotta hold on to them.
You have to. Well, Karsus made sure that didn't happen. So, in the catastrophic transition, the new deity of magic, Karsus, lacked the knowledge and control to maintain the weave. So the magical fabric of the weave dissolved, and with it, so did Mistral, because Mistral is the weave. His inexperience disrupted the flow of magic, and it caused a collapse of all magical effects across the whole empire, and all the floating cities of the Netheril, including Karsus' own city, plummeted to the ground. So,
boom!
Bam! Yep.
Whole civilization of mages dead.
All dead. So when Karsus attempted to take Mistra's place, he didn't only disrupt magic, he caused the death of Mistral, like I said. But then Mistral was just rebirthed herself, because that's what gods can do when they're killed.
She respawned.
She respawned, yes, as the goddess Mistra. So changed the spelling a little bit.
And the gender, right?
I think they were both depicted as female, but I just got this feeling from some of my reading that Mistral was a little more gender fluid. But regardless, Mistral was reborn as Mistra, and she used her new incarnation to establish the Weave as a more stable, regulated magical framework. So I guess before then, the Weave, it wasn't really called the Weave. It was just like magic. So Mistra came about and was like, no, we're going to make some rules.
And she made a spell book, and you can only cast the spells that are in the spell book. She said, here, look at page 128. Here's what wizards can cast. Here's what sorcerers can cast. Warlocks, you only get these spells.
Oh my gosh, yep, that's true. Yeah, well, why is all this relevant? Because this is not about Selune, it's about Mistral, right? Well, when Mistral came back and was like, okay, Mom, you're right, Mama Selune. You're right, I should have been a little bit less free-spirited. We need to have some rules. We need to have some guidelines. Only I control the Weave now, and only I give permission to people to use the Weave. Well, Shar hated that, and that's when Shar started her never-ending campaign against Selune and Mistra and the Weave. So that's kind of how that whole business came about.
Because Shar gives people dark magic.
Yeah, Shar wants to control the Weave. Shar wants to use the Weave indiscriminately, but now the new Mistra was just like, we have to have rules, and Shar hates rules. So these strict rules governing magic prevent mortals from ever changing to the gods this way again, which pissed off Shar, because Shar liked the chaos that was caused by humans creating themselves gods. The city of Opus was believed to have escaped the destruction of all these falling cities, and it wasn't clear how it survived this, but it is also said that you can go there and find secrets of like old gods and Shar of Selune if you can find it. It's also stated in some lore that Selune herself saved that city, so that's why it's such a special, important city to Selune and her followers, the city of Opus.
Man, let's go there in our next campaign. That sounds rad.
That sounds really cool. So yeah, that's a little bit of some of the shenanigans she got into. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the battles, a lot of the lore around her kind of overlap with Shar, so I don't want to have to repeat myself and like tell y'all stories y'all already know. But I picked out a couple like really interesting ones that were like relationship with other gods, or relationships with like artifacts that she's created. One little anecdote about her that I thought was interesting is how she helped birth bad luck.
What? How?
Yeah. So during the Dawn Cataclysm, Tyche, the goddess of luck, was secretly corrupted by Moander, who is the god of decay. So he was like seducing her and corrupted her. When she returned home, she encountered her friend Selune, and as well as Lathander, who we talked about a little bit in a previous episode. He's the god of like light and justice or something like that. So anyways, when she came back, Selune could tell that something was wrong with Tyche, who was the goddess of luck, that she was like feeling unwell and that she was corrupted a little bit. So Selune started crying profusely, and as she wept, her tears struck her with a purifying bolt of light, but instead of healing her, it killed her.
What? Wait, what?
So Selune cried over Tyche, the goddess of luck, and from her tears came a bolt of light that struck her. And I think the intention was to purify her, but instead it killed her and split her into two beings. Good luck and bad luck.
Okay.
Yep. So Tymora, who's the goddess of good luck, and Beshaba, the goddess of bad luck. So the two new goddesses immediately began fighting and were separated by Selune, Lathander, and Azuth. And then, of course, Shar took the bad luck under her wing. So
this is wild.
Gods are weird, huh? Gods are weird. So
It's like now that I'm playing D&D in my 30s, so having very realistic, very grounded sessions where we explore the depths of human emotions, and we go on these like these 5-act quests. But when I was like 17, we just did God stuff. We just did crazy, outrageous stuff.
Yep. No, that's seriously like
the gods are just 13-year-olds that watch too much anime.
Too much anime, too much drama, but I live for it. I love it.
Yeah, I guess there's more symbolism than it, but like just the wildness of it. Mm-hmm. It's so great. This is great.
Good. I'm glad you like it because there's tons more. I feel like Selûne is one that we're just going to keep touching on throughout mythos and mythology because she's kind of just very, very minimally involved in almost every major like mythological battle or event. So I don't want to go through all of that right now, but that was like a little fun one. We can talk a little bit about her worship in church if you want.
I'd love to. I like the cults, baby.
Yeah, I know you do.
Bring the cults up.
So, worshippers of Selûne. Honestly, a lot more vanilla than Shar, but there are some wild ones out there that we'll talk about. Worshippers of Selûne are a really diverse group. So, unlike Shar, which is really secretive and they're really rule-bound, Selûne's worshippers can include sailors, travelers, healers, mystics, those who revere the night sky. There's all types of people. Her followers, which are often called Selûnites, are united by their devotion to the moon's cycles, their destruction to protecting the vulnerable, their dedication, not their destruction, their dedication to protecting the vulnerable, and their belief in the goddess's guidance in dark times. So very Jesus vibes here. Yeah. There are two types of worshippers and followers of Shar, ones that are part of a clergy and worship in temples, and ones that praise Selûne and worship her by adventuring. So adventurers love to worship her and look for her for guidance in their travels. Virtues that are revered by people who are revered by people who worship Selûne are empathy, compassion, acceptance, healing, tolerance, and purpose. It's
the good ones.
It's all about inner strength and peace to help others. Blah, blah, blah. Super boring. I'm all about the villains, honestly, but there is some notes of female empowerment in Selûne's doctrine, which I really enjoy, including some of her clergy, which we'll talk about in a second. So hierarchy, unlike Shar's hierarchy, which is really stratified, super, super delineated, this is what your goals and this is what you do at each level. Selûne has more of a fluid system. They've got clerics. They're referred to as silver stars or daughters of the moon, and they organize themselves into local congregations to lead cleric or priest duties, essentially. Moon maidens, which are female clerics of Selûne, and moon knights, which are paladins who fight in her name, exist to serve Selûne's goals of protecting the innocent and combating darkness. These orders are often self-governing, which each adapting to local needs and threats. So they don't have some sort of here's the Pope, everyone follows the Pope situation.
I'm totally going to play a Moon Knight.
You should. You have to be a paladin.
Yeah, I think a Moon Knight would be fun. A Moon Knight that's actively trying to get lycanthropy. Every time I'm out in the woods, I'm sure hope there's no werewolves.
I love
Would be ashamed to get bit.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Or you could be a silver star. So a silver star is a specific order of Selûne clerics that dedicate to spreading her light and ideals. So you could just go around showing moon to everyone.
I love playing clerics.
Do you really?
Yeah, I'm a big cleric fan.
I've not played, but they look interesting. I might like them. So the clergy, there are special groups or sects of this is the part I get really excited about because there's just really fun individuals in this. There's special groups or sects of Selûnite followers that kind of carry on their own knight errant duties. One of which is called the Swords of the Lady, often referred to as the Lunatics. I love it. Okay, so they were hired swords known for their distinct enjoyment of combat and their vicious responses to the actions of the Church of Shar. So think of really, really happy, violent people.
Really happy, violent people that are trying to kill their mom's sister.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yeah. You just gotta, what is it? what it would be, Aunt.
Yeah, Aunt Shar.
Yeah, Aunt Shar.
I love it.
So there's the Moon Knights. We talked a little about that.
You play a lunatic, and I'll play a Silver Star, and we can have a Selune campaign.
Hell yeah.
Now we just have to find somebody to run.
Yeah, right. Yeah. DMs. We're talking to you. Leave us a comment.
Yeah.
Leave us a review.
On the Patreon, which is free, by the way, and a new bonus episode will be up.
Yeah, true. So there's people called the Silver Ladies, which are all female order of diviners, healers, and protectors who often defend women. Like, their goal is to go around and defend women who have been beaten up or like sexually abused or any sort of physical violence. Like, they're just like these this group of women who defend women. So that's kind of cool. I really like that piece of it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So rituals and observances, we got some crazy ones here too. Shar has the purge, whereas Selûne has conjuring of the second moon. So once every 4 years, all Selûnites around the world gather to chant and bond together, summoning shards of Selûne. What are shards of Selûne, you ask? Do you know what a shard of Selûne is?
No.
Are you ready to learn about shards of Selûne?
Yes.
So shards are a band of unique planetars of shining aspect, which I looked up what a planetar is, and it's like an order of angels.
Okay.
So there is a specific order of angels out there that are called shards that worship and belong to Selûne. They bestow mortals with gifts and boons on her behalf. So they come down and give them artifacts, or they'll come down and bless them with special abilities. Then there's little lesser creatures called silvers that act as their little special servants or like little carriers. All of this is related to the conjuring of the second moon, because they will summon these angels down. They'll summon down the angels, and the angels will like kill a bunch of bad guys, and then they'll kidnap one priest and bring him up to heaven with them at the end of the ceremony. So that's that one mortal priest gets to ascend and become ranks as one of their knights. So
sweet.
I
bet everybody's like, oh boy, I sure hope they choose me.
Yay!
Now wouldn't it be great?
Angel.
But there's thousands of people worshiping. So what are the odds? It's everybody around the world. Yeah.
What a weird moment that would be. Like, what if you weren't expecting it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably not, because they probably picked the most humble of heart.
Oh, true.
Yeah, probably picked the person expecting it the least.
Some guy just like eating potato soup.
Or a woman.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I want potato soup.
That does sound really good. Me too. I'm gonna get potato soup after this. One little fun fact about their rituals and observances. So with the lunar cycles, many worshipers align their practices with the phases of the moon. So for example, they may use a new moon for quiet reflection, or the waxing moon for seeking strength and guidance. So there's a lot of like astrology vibes in this.
Oh yeah, the goddess of women. Of course, there's astrology.
Yeah,
vibes.
Women and who birth magic and all that. She's got those vibes. Well, those are her worships in church. Relationships. So I love this part. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's always the most interesting. She's got some fun relationships. We talked about Sune a little bit, or I guess it's pronounced Suni, according to my literal. I wrote down, how do you pronounce this? Suni, and I said it wrong the whole time. So who is the greater goddess of beauty? Lathander, she always respected Lathander for his passion, and we're pretty sure that they bone. So
hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The relationship symbolizes the harmony of moonlight and dawn. So, Lathander's the god of dawn. That's right. With Selûne embodying the nurturing light of the night, and Lathander the hope and renewal of the day. So, beautiful, wonderful couple. Good for them.
But they can never be together.
They can never be together.
They both have. Oh, never mind.
Do you know? Do you know a lore? I don't know a lore.
No, not a lore. Have you read that book that they tell you to read about relationships? About the different kinds of attachment styles.
Oh, love languages?
No, the attachment styles.
Oh,
But very similar. Same thing as the love languages.
Okay.
But attachment styles, I forgot but there's like 3 kinds, and there's avoidant. They're both avoidant.
Well,
They can't because they can never see each other. They
can.
keep avoiding each other.
Which is, it's tragic, really.
The circle of sunlight and moonlight. And
I wrote down her, I mean, most of the gods are her allies because she's just so kind-spirited, but enemies, my one note is Shar, duh. So, just in case y'all forgot. But then all Shar's little buddies like Mask Moander, Umberly, Targus, Ball, all those bad guys.
I like how the bad guys' names sound like bad guys.
Yeah, it's true. They're very, like, you have to make a throat noise when you say, like,
they sound like a German person clearing their throat.
Yeah. Oh, man, we love our German listeners.
Thank
you for tuning in. Artifacts. So I wrote down some artifacts that you can use in your campaigns. Trying this out. Let's see if this works.
Oh, this is great. I love this.
Yeah. So Selûne is one of her portfolio items is the ability to imbue items with magic, mostly moonlight and moonfire. Moonfire is a type of kind of magical fire that you can use. I was supposed to talk about Moonfire a couple of minutes ago, but I opened up my notes and I just have CXX written there. So, Moonfire exists, but she can create artifacts out of this Moonfire that give you special abilities, one of which that you can give to your campaign people are Moonblades. They have a +4 Undead Bane. They're a +4 Undead Bane longsword that drain life force from their targets.
That's what?
Yeah.
What edition is that from?
I do not know.
That's huge.
I'm guessing these are like legendary if they're imbued by God's power items. But they don't leave any physical wound when they do that, which is interesting.
Oh, okay.
Amulet of Selûne's Chosen. I remember this from Baldur's Gate. It's an amulet that allows unlimited healing, but it's at the risk of putting the other person to sleep when you heal them.
Oh, that's flavorful. I like that.
Moon bracers. So these are bracers made of leather, silver, and moonstone that act as both bracers of defense, but could also allow the wearer to cast the spell Dimension Door, which is neat.
Oh, that's rad.
Mooncloak. Mooncloaks allowed Selûnites to walk on air or water by using the spells and levitate and water walk. So priests had those often. So
that's rad.
There's a special salve, which is really cool for artificers. I was trying to see if I could find some artificer stuff. So the Moonfire salve is a versatile alchemical substance that can provide special effects depending where you put it on your body. So hands will give you advanced mage hand. Feet will give you fly. If you put it on your mouth, it'll cure wounds. If you put it on your head, it'll dispel magic. And eyes, it'll give you dark vision. So
that's rad.
Yeah.
That's very versatile.
And Ring of Shooting Stars. So it's a ring that allows its wearers to cast light fairy fire, ball lightning, or meteor swarm.
That meteor storm?
Meteor swarm?
Meteor swarm?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
These are some cool magic items. I need all of this when I play my paladin.
So those are some artifacts.
I want that cloak.
That cloak is really cool. So if I were to pick one of these items for our current campaign, I would like the Moonfire salve would be cool. I could see that coming to use for Artificer. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Okay. We're not playing in Faerûn.
We're playing in Barovia. It's like a interdimensional dimension, right?
Yeah, something like that.
It's a purgatory. So there's this little myth. So like I said, one of her aspects is she appears as like an old matronly, well, not old, but like middle-aged innkeeper that helps guide people along their paths. What I really like about this aspect of her is she likes to tell stories, and she tells stories of her life as a goddess, but as a storyteller. And one of the ones that she tells, and that's known throughout Faerûn, and so bards would, if you play a bard, you should probably listen to this because it might give you a little fun lore to use. But Selûne had chosen to live her life in the city of Waterdeep, named Lune as a character named Lunda, who ran the Selûne Smile Inn at the tavern in the city, which is pretty cool. She liked to tell a story there of a beautiful young goddess who grew bored of a peaceful realm and borrowed a wand of power from a god she referred to as her father. So, Ao. She must have stolen Ao's wand. She talks about how this goddess traveled across plains and eventually arrived in a bizarre world filled with a blood-ridden moon, and where she fell in love with a mysterious warrior lord. And she pursued him, but he didn't want her, so she used the wand to transport him and his followers to Toril, intending to help them settle there, to bring her closer.
Oh, cool.
So once there, the warrior revealed his true form as Imgigzu, the monstrous shape changer bent on conquest. So it's apparently this huge, I guess, antagonist in the D&D world who appeared and seized the wand and used it. It was trying to use it to kill Selûne. But then a young wizard riding a horse intervened. Might be Gandalf. I don't know. It doesn't say who it is here, but it says young wizard riding a horse. Creating chaos for Selûne's escape, and then was able to get her out of there. So that wizard's unrequited love for Selûne and Selûne's unrequited love for him span across centuries. And it's just this beautiful little love story that she likes to tell people who come through her inn.
That's a great story, man.
Yeah, it's pretty anticlimactic. I thought...
I can't wait for the Netflix adaptation.
What ruins that for me is I don't have the name. I don't have the name of this guy who saved her. It could be like this major guy in mythology.
If it's a famous wizard, it's probably the guy whose name is escaping me. Mm-hmm. I can close my eyes and picture the magic card with him on it.
Well, needless to say, all of that ties back to within this battle, when he seized the wand or when the bad guy took the wand and the young wizard intervened, using her life force, Selûne created a prison for the monsters and trapped them, and it's called Selûne's Eye. So that's like an artifact you can use within your campaigns. And then she gave that gem to that wizard for safekeeping. So that's the Song of Selûne. It's just a well-known story. Definitely go read it if you have the chance.
Elminster.
Was it actually Elminster for once?
No, I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing.
I always say I'm going to mention Elminster, and I never do. Was it Elminster? That'd be amazing. Well, that's the Song of Selûne. We could have done without that maybe, but it just shows that she interacts with mortals more than Shar does. Selûne likes to come and walk amongst the people and talk to her followers and her worshipers.
She runs an inn.
Yeah, she runs an inn. She's a lot more, if you need a god or a goddess that is prone to give adventurers quests or side stories, like she's a great avenue for you. I've got some recent history here. I'll leave it in my notes for y'all to check out on your Patreon. Just some stuff that has to do with Baldur's Gate that's a little bit more relevant to like 5th edition. There's other fun facts that I have about her. So Dark Moon heresy. So I didn't mention this in Shar because I wanted to save it for this episode. There's this sect in the Faerûn and the D&D universe that believes that Selûne and Shar are the same goddess.
Ooh.
Yes. So here we go.
It does sound heretical.
Yes. So Shar and Selûne, who are the twin goddess sisters that embody us darkness and light, are true rivals. But many believe that instead of two aspects they're one aspect of a single deity. The heretical view challenges the accepted doctrine that there are polar opposites locked in eternal conflict, but instead it's one person who's dealing and battling with the duality of their own personality and their wants and desires.
So it's just one person with bipolar type 1.
Essentially, yeah. So one represents the dark hidden side of your what is that? Your id or your
I do not know the difference between
mental
id
state
and ego. I do not know the difference.
Oh, I don't.
It has been explained to me, and I have forgot it every time.
Well, God forbid I'm the one to explain it to you again now, because I am a tech nerd, not as anybody who understands the mind or psychology. But
yeah,
Shar would be you're the good voice in your head, and then Selûne would be the good one.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so this Dark Moon heresy is considered blasphemous by followers of both goddesses. Like, both won't tolerate you talking about that. Most priests, knights, anybody of either Shar or Selûne's side would kill you for saying such awful things about their goddesses. Traditional Selûnites view it as a dangerous distortion of the goddess' benevolent nature, believing it undermines her fight against Shar's forces and darkness and decay. And likewise, followers of Shar who revel in loss, secrets, and entropy see this as hearsay and calls it weak, because Shar is like this badass, like, I don't have feelings, I don't care about anyone, I'm here to protect the darkness, whereas Selûne is really caring and forgiving and what have you. So That's a kind of a fun fact. So it'd be really cool to play a character who is like a heretical fanatic for the Dark Moon heresy, like somebody who believes that they're the same goddess.
You mean a crazy conspiracy theorist?
Yeah.
Not in the same campaign where I'm playing a paladin.
Uh-oh, would he kill him?
Absolutely, on sight. The whole campaign would be over session 1.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go.
And then a little bit of Baldur's Gate facts, just for those that haven't played Baldur's Gate and don't know anything about it. And I guess this is technically spoilers, but at this point you shouldn't be listening to this podcast if you don't want spoilers. So Dame Aelin is a daughter of Selûne, the daughter of the goddess Selûne, who was imprisoned by the Shadowfell and General Kenric Thorm in 14th and 15th centuries. So that's within Baldur's Gate when you're in the Shadowfell and you're helping Shadowheart with Shar. You might encounter this person. Aelin fell in love with Isabel Thorm, a devoted follower of Selûne. Isabel's father, Ketheric, assumed the love wasn't genuine and wrong, and over 100 years began torturing and repeatedly killed and resurrecting Isabel and Aelin. So just torturing them, essentially. So,
well, that sounds rough.
So this relationship was obviously really complex, and eventually Aelin, depending on the choices that you make in Baldur's Gate, could either escape from this pain and torture, or something else could happen. So yeah, it's really interesting. She's got that mortal daughter thing going on somewhere in the world, as gods seem to do. So yeah, that's about it for Selûne. I actually have some questions for you.
Oh, okay.
At the end now. I want to try something a little new. So last time I had asked you to what kind of character you would play if you played a Shar, like somebody who worshipped Shar. Who do you think you would play if you wanted to choose somebody who worships Selûne? Would you choose a cleric or a paladin, or what do you think?
I would want to play a female character that was a paladin. That the order of was it the lunatics? I'd want to play a female paladin who was a lunatic.
That's so cool, yeah.
And I would want to fervently be a champion out there and just be super zealous about my love for Selûne. And yeah, that would be cool. That. And when I get some higher levels, maybe through some magic items, maybe through just some DM magic, I would totally have a She-Ra thing.
Yes, that's badass.
Did you watch the She-Ra cartoon? I know you didn't.
No, I did.
The Netflix one?
Yeah, so I happened, I went back to school, and I had roommates, college roommates, and they were watching it one day, and I sat and watched it. I thought it was good.
I would totally. I watched the whole series like 12 times because I had a daughter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would totally have still the trope about her hair looking really good.
Of course.
When she transforms. Or maybe I would just like do a Witcher style where I have a potion of heroism always on me.
Or it could be that potion that she had.
Yeah,
like a magic potion.
I would have like some magic moonfire potion or something.
Yes.
And whenever I activate it, I grow a foot taller and my hair gets really beautiful.
What would you do if you saw a worshiper of Shar?
Immediately kill them.
Do you think Shar and Selûne will ever like reconcile?
After all of Shar's followers are dead and then Shar dies, yes.
Really? So you don't think D&D is going to pull I'm thinking of World of Warcraft, where we've had the same character be villain and the protagonist and the villain, the protagonist across 5 fucking games. Do you think they'll ever do that? They'll like show up as best friends next edition.
They had one team up, but it almost killed Selûne.
Yeah.
So I don't think I don't know. I think neither one of them will die. I feel like they'll just always be at war forever.
Just like the constant.
Because the storyline of the gods doesn't really change except for when editions change.
Yeah, that's true. I'm curious to see now that, we've been talking about Shar and Selûne, I feel like, for months.
We're getting Forgotten Realms books this time next year.
Oh, that's true.
So
yeah.
Who knows? Maybe this time next year we'll find out.
I'm curious to see now that we got out of those two, like essentially the bigger ones. We've talked about them quite a bit. to understand better than how the relationships work between all the other gods and their capabilities and powers.
Yeah, I want to hear. I mean, these are like the big two.
Yeah.
I want to hear about Baal. I want to hear about the crazy,
Yes.
weird shenanigans they get up to.
We'll take a break next episode and not do one of the major ones. We'll do like a fun one. I'm really interested in the god of travelers. It seemed really interesting. He had a really funny name. But I have one last question for you. So if Selûne, if she had to pick one moon phase to stay in forever, what do you think she'd go with? Would she be a full moon girly? Would she be a crescent girly? Or would she maybe be something wild like a disco ball moon?
Which one? Probably like a gibbous?
A gibbous moon?
A gibbous? Because that's probably when she's like the middle-aged innkeeper.
I love the middle-aged innkeeper Selûne.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way you described her was thick mama.
What is it, big booty?
Yeah, she had a big booty.
Big booty?
Yeah.
That's canonical now.
Very matronly.
Yeah.
She probably is a good cook because she runs an inn.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I love her. I think I'm in love with her.
I am.
Do you think that gods have like pet peeves? Do you think like there's like things their worshippers do and they're like, I fucking wish they would stop doing that shit. Like every time they pray to me, they do this weird little motion afterwards and it's just really annoying. Do you think they're like that?
For those of you who can't see, Jessica just did the weirdest little two-handed hand motion around her head and shoulders.
Well, I didn't want to do like...
You didn't want to do the Catholic cross thing.
I'm not here to offend anyone, but...
So you did some seizure version of that.
Gang signs or something, I don't know, but...
I saw a guy in real life throwing up gang signs.
Nah, here?
No, at a QT in Garland, like on the nice side of Garland.
That's even weirder.
He was standing outside wearing colors. He was wearing a blue long t-shirt. Like, remember when those oversized extra tall t-shirts were popular?
Yeah.
He had blue shoes and a blue bandana on. So I think he was in a gang. The man looked like he was 55. He had gray hair.
Oh, boy.
And every person who walked up, he was like throwing gang signs at them. And everybody was just looking at him just like, what? And just walking past this guy.
Like, what is...
I mean, he was 55, maybe 60. Like, he was a grown adult.
What was his end goal?
I assume to do gang activity.
I mean, yeah, good answer, but a QT?
This is right by the entrance door. I don't know what I sat there eating my hot dog and drinking my drink and watching him. And I was just like, what is this grown man doing? Anyway, this is besides the point.
I think that would be Selûne's pet peeve. Like, if any of that shit was happening in the moonlight, she'd be like, knock it off.
Oh,
Go to sleep.
I mean, I don't know I don't think she would have pet peeves. I think they're
Yeah, she's too nice.
Shar has a million pet peeves.
She hates it when people call her Mother Night.
I mean, Shar told us one of her pet peeves is people leaving windows open.
That's true. You're so right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Shar hates open windows. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. She maybe wouldn't because she's just so forgiving. Yeah. I would have a lot of pet peeves against being.
Oh, you know what? Probably people with sleep apnea. Because she sees everything in the moonlight. Sleep apnea. That's. Get a CPAP machine. Come on, bro.
Yeah, honestly, she needs some quiet.
Yeah.
She needs some peace. Well, that's Selûne. Shar and Selûne, we're done with them. They did it. They created the cosmos. They did a dang good job of it because I love D&D and I love Faerûn. And thank y'all for bearing with me, my tired little brain. But
hey, you knocked this one out of the park. This was another excellent episode. 10 out of 10. Solid banger.
Sean, what do you think? What are our plans next for the podcast? For what are our next episodes? I said I'm gonna pick a lesser god just to have a little fun with it.
Well, you talk about your next episode on my episode because we record them 2 at a time. So I'm gonna talk about my episode. I had previously stated that it was going to be about Greyhawk.
Yeah.
But I did my math wrong and the DMG isn't out yet. I want to wait till the DMG's out. The new DMG has a lore glossary.
Oh, I'm so excited.
And it's got all the new stuff about Greyhawk. So I'm going to wait and talk about Greyhawk until after I got my hands on that. So my next episode is going to be The Fighter.
Cool. Yes.
So this week, you're listening to this podcast right now. You just heard Jessica knock this one out of the park. And next week, you'll hear me talk about the fighter. And then the week after that, Jessica, do you know what you want to talk about? What lesser god you want to cover?
I think...
I mean, I feel like Mistral, you've covered so in depth already just on accident.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll probably have to wrap them into like a mini series on like Faerûnian gods. Not go this in depth for every single god in the pantheons. And because I've already talked about them so much. Same with Lathander. Like, I could probably get him knocked out.
You can do Lathander in the future when we're kind of separated from him.
Yeah, exactly.
I want you to do one of the evil ones.
Okay. Which one do you think? Just name a
Ball.
You want Ball? Okay, I love Ball. Let's do it.
Ball has gotten into some trouble. I know a little bit about Ball. I know he's a bad boy.
All right, I like it.
Yeah.
We'll do Ball next time, y'all.
All right. Now we got to record a bonus episode, and if you want to hear that bonus episode, go to the Patreon. It is free. Everything on our Patreon, 100% free.
Including our notes? Including...
The notes. Now, just so you know, Jessica has read probably 1/3 of her notes, if I'm guessing. She takes the most thorough notes you have ever seen, and they are beautifully laid out. My notes aren't that pretty, but they're up there.
I think they're good. I can follow them.
I read my notes verbatim. Like, I type out exactly what I'm going to say.
I just need a better outline, but I'll keep improving it. I do want to say that you're going to say...
Your notes are so good. Well, if we were in college
to
together, I would have been so trying to be your best friend so I could borrow your notes.
Everyone always asked me for my notes, always. And I was happy to give them because I put so much work into them.
If I was the teacher, I would want your notes. I'm like, this is next year's syllabus.
Okay, I have a minor in anthropology. I just like research. I like taking notes.
You have a minor in anthropology?
Yeah, I have a minor in anthropology and art history.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the store?
The what?
Do you like the store? Anthropology?
I really love the store. I own a lot of clothes from Anthropology.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. I did want to say one thing, but I forgot. Oh, our social medias. We've got a TikTok going. Apparently it's going well. I'm going to jump in the fold now that I'm done playing around in the hospital. I'm going to start posting some videos also. Sean, what kind of engagement are you looking for on these social medias? Do you want people to like comment?
Comment.
Share.
Just comment. Share it if you want. Comment is a must.
I want people to use it. I don't know if y'all have checked it out. Check out these NPC. They're good.
I'm posting NPC every day, and usually they have a plot hook,
yes,
a little backstory, how your party can interact with them.
And if you're somebody who likes to create your own NPCs, you can always use these as like a base, as a base. They're really, really fun.
Some of them are ones I used in our campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are like how I wish I would have done things in Barovia different. But I don't say that explicitly. That's just, you don't know which ones those are. Some of them are inspired by popular media.
Let's give them a place to start. What is the best one?
Probably they're all equally perfect.
Yeah, they are very perfect.
Yeah, just look at how many views they have. The ones with the most views are better.
Great. And we work for a marketing agency, y'all. Hire us for services. Cool. Well, Sean, I'm very glad to be here with you.
Yeah, I'm very glad to be here. I'm very entertained by your episode. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Hey, we'll talk to y'all later.
Hit the theme.
Thanks for rolling with us.